Next slide, please. Yeah, we have now the Philippine National Railway South Long Haul project. This is the project management consultancy. This is the detailed engineering design for the entire alignment. That's why, Madam Chair, we could not answer the question on the viability gap or budget gap because this is still ongoing. We expect it to complete only in August, but we are working with PNR and DOTR to fast track because we have to move forward now into the civil works, the right-of-way procurement, in order to plan ahead. So this is critical for us to be able to accelerate. I'm not sure whether DOTR is present to elaborate, but this is something we have been pushing, Alan, Mr. Chair, Madam Chair.
Madam Chairman.
Congressman Bordado is
Yes, Madam Chairman. I tackled this issue during our last meeting there at the Batasan, and I was asking the resource persons whether this will be pursued or not. Because as early as 2018, the government has been telling us that the Philippine National Railway South Long Haul project will be completed as soon as possible. But up to now, we are talking about detailed engineering projects. Nasaan na ba tayo dito? ASEC.
Mr. Madam Chair, Congressman Bernardo, right now, actually, on the part of NEDA and the Department of Finance, we are now also informally discussing with the Asian Development Bank whether they will be able to glide into the project in order to ensure continuing effort here. No? But Congressman Bernardo, with due respect, actually, we have requested DOTR and PNR to provide us an update on whether the detailed engineering can be accelerated. Now, Undersecretary...
Madam Chairman, Mr. Chairman, there was this info, ASEC, regarding the possibility of getting another source of loans. Is this being done at this stage?
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, Congressman Bernardo, that's actually what we are trying to work through behind, because basically the phasing in of possibly the Asian Development Bank into the project. So that, as I mentioned earlier, to quickly move forward on this project from the current in detailed engineering.
Quickly move forward?
Yes.
What do you mean by that phrasing?
If we can get actually very good estimates from the detailed engineering, we can move forward now to the next phase, which is approving the implementation itself.
Because, Madam Chairman, we have been waiting. The people of the Bicol region have been waiting for this. So I do hope that moving forward will be taken literally and not figuratively.
Yes, Congressman, Mr. Chair. Actually, on the part of NEDA, I sit on the PNR board. We have been following up with the PNR board chairman, Ted Macapagal, in order to expedite this project. The present alignment that we have kasi will have to be changed. And our reason why the detailed engineering is a bit complex, we are going to have a faster train service from the current 40 to 60 kilometer per hour run of the current line. We are targeting about 80 to 120 kilometers per hour. That would mean essentially having straighter train alignments. Kaya po the detailed engineering is very critical.
Yes, Madam Chairman, I was informed that there would be a shift from the narrow gauge to the standard gauge rail system.
It's another technical aspect, but what I was referring to, Congressman Bernardo, Mr. Chair, and Madam Chair, is actually more straight alignments rather than existing meandering. That's the more technical question. And also, since we are going through mountainous areas, there is actually a maximum gradient. If I'm not mistaken, 20 degrees yata. We cannot have more than 20 to 25 degrees gradient. Above that, the trains will not be able to move very efficiently. So this is part of the detailed engineering design. By the
Madam
way-
Chairman,
By the way, may I add, actually in the PNR board, the existing line will still be used as spur lines for the, so actually we're getting a very good set of detailed engineering, not only to come up with a faster rail from South Manila going to Bicol, but also coming up with better connections along the way. That's part of the detailed engineering design, Congressman. We hope to see that as
so
well.
Madam Chairman, given all these considerations, can you give us the possible date of completion of this project?
With due respect, may we confer again with the OTR and PNR, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, regarding this thing, particularly the OTR. The thing is, we really need to start working on the next phase, which is the implementation phase. So we'll have a better answer when we get back to you regarding this, as probably our homework for this committee. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So, Madam Chairman, at this stage, we are not yet sure whether we shall proceed with this project or not.
We are a go. We are a go. It's a question of how early we can move forward, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair. The detailed engineering is very critical in order to make sure that it's implementable. That's the main point. And we will be efficient.
Thank you, Asek. Thank you.
Just a follow-up question. I saw in the list of the succeeding projects to be funded by China ODA is another Philippine National Railways South Long Haul project, design and build. No, so in other words, after this project management consultancy, there's another package for design and build. So the question of Congressman Bordado on when will the actual physical construction, that will still take time, because after this you have another design and build. I'm sure that will take time again. No, so can you give us a preview on the steps to reach the actual groundbreaking of the project?
Thank you, Senator Gatchalian. Actually, it's a good question. That's a good follow-up to the question of Congressman Bordado. Actually, it's a bit confidential, yung information. Kasi you already mentioned that we are trying to look at private sector participation to leapfrog to the next step. And that's what we're discussing with ADB. We are hoping that ADB will provide us technical support to leapfrog the project from detailed engineering directly to bidding out both design and building. The problem really at the end of the day, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, Congressman Bordado, the budget is still being finalized. We need to know whether in fact we can move forward to private sector. That's why I was saying it's a bit confidential, kasi we're not trying to signal the market too early regarding this, but to have better parameters. And also we're discussing with ADB technical assistance for that purpose. But if we were to able to get this under a design build, and by the way, in answer to your question, therefore directly with regard to Chinese ODA, the OTR has indicated that they are not going to pursue Chinese ODA for the next stage. That's why we are looking at ADB as a sliding in, whether it will be an ADB investment loan or probably technical assistance for design build. That's the orientation of the current Undersecretary for Rails, Mr. Jeremy Regino, was also before being USEC for Rail, the PNR General Manager, design build arrangements, as we were discussing in the PNR board. That's why I'm sorry, Madam Chair. It's not really confidential. We are still in the wraps, under the wraps, because there's a lot of considerations being made. We understand, well, personally I understand there are also some actually private sector interested to propose unsolicited proposal, but this is just from the grapevine that we're hearing. So we're trying to, we have to get back to you on the OTR and PNR, what will be the final solution to be frank, actually the main problem we're facing in PNR board right now is the closure of the Manila section, no, to allow NSCR. So we're focusing now on the South Calamba to Naga alignment, making sure that it's alive. Anyway, that's actually an aside. I'm digressing a lot from the discussion, Mr. Chair and Madam Chair. No, so, but therefore, in answer to the question, we are looking at coming up with a solution to leapfrog from detailed engineering to actually both designing and building at the same time, which is called the design build concept, which might involve private sector participation in order to accelerate. I hope that answers your question.
Another
Mr. Chair.
follow-up question, Asek. I saw in this slide that the project cost is 14 billion. So just for project management consultancy alone is 14 billion. Tama ba?
Yes, Mr. Chair, that was the approved project cost in the last administration.
But we're not talking about engineering pa, no? Detailed engineering. We're not talking about that. This is only for project management consultancy.
This is detailed engineering, basically.
This is detailed engineering already.
This will include also parcellary surveys, hydrological, geohydrological studies. Yusek Emil is the expert here. Alignment studies, no. Basically, the whole point is to ensure that we have a fast and efficient train.
And you mentioned earlier that the succeeding consultants will be. I think the decision of the OTR is to cancel Chinese ODA in relation to this project. So the succeeding consultants will be either ADB or non-Chinese. Will they continue whatever the project management consultancy have started? Because we don't want a scenario wherein they will start all over again, no? So that itong 14 billion will be wasted. Do we have that assurance that it will be continued and used?
That is, Mr. Chair, that is actually what we expect the OTR to NPNR to work through. That the results of this current project management consultancy, we can actually have a very strong basis towards design build procurement already in the next phase.
Okay.
So the test of the pudding will therefore be the final proposition coming from this, which we hope with further ADB, actually technical assistance, it's not alone. Their experts, particularly in private sector participation, will further focus viability for implementation for possible private sector
Because
participation.
I remember the North Rail case. It was initially by a Chinese Spanish nga, sabi ni ma'am, Spanish, then naging Chinese. And remember, I was a mayor that time na eh. When the Chinese were already doing a lot of groundwork, they already have a design. In fact, they started doing some earth moving already. And then the Japanese came and they started all over from scratch, no? So my point there is I remember we contracted already a portion of the Chinese loan. And then after that, we had to start all over again. So we don't want a scenario in this case, no, in this South Long Haul project, because obviously we already paid 14 billion for that particular project. No, so just be mindful of that, Asek, no, because sayang yung pera, eh, no?
Mr. Chair, of course, we share the same concern in NEDA with regard to efficient use of the resources that the Congress provides, particularly with ODA. We know that at the end of the day, regardless of being Chinese, actually the results of the engineering is actually competitively defined, no, that can apply to . But then the nuancing to design build may be something that we also need to work with the Asian Development Bank or even International Finance Corporation. These are the things that the OTR and PNR are still working through. And they are coordinating with NEDA and DOF accordingly on this matter.
Madam Chairman. Yeah. Are you telling us, ASEC, that the detailed engineering and alignment studies will be completed by 2027.
Actually, just to contextualize, the project is already, as reported to us by the OTR, about 49.2% completed. Now, if you look at it in terms of where we are from where we began, the project actually started implementation with the financing in August 2020. August 2020. So with 50% and hopefully with further pokpok siguro from our good congressman during the budget review process, we may not have to reach 2027. As I recall, if I'm not mistaken, the 2027 is actually more of the loan effectivity. That includes kasi a 1 year or 1.5 year closing of books in terms of the loan financing. As I mentioned, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, Congressman Bernardo, we'll get back to you regarding what is the revised timeline now of the OTR here for purposes of this on this project.
Should ask the committee secretaries to include this railroad project in the agenda for the next meeting and invite the OTR to come and tell us how they're speeding it up. I was looking at the calendar. We're going to be on vacation starting next week, and we will resume on May 20. What's this? I think April 29, which is a Monday. So this early, Mr. Chair, if we can tentatively at least set our next hearing for April 30, then we can give a heads up to the DOTR that they should have their answers to these questions by April 30.